an Android smartphone in the shape of a smartwatch. It's possible, and Rogbit make a bold attempt to bring this idea to life through their latest wearable device called the King. Let's inspect. Well, a dual camera setup, one here and one here. There's a nano SIM slot, and all the interesting for 2022 health tracking features. A very short and brief summary of the Rogbit King, which is a new Android-based smartwatch. So it's not running Wear OS, it's running Android, which has its pros and cons. And by the way, really nice to meet you. My name is Michael. What we do on the channel is to inspect fresh and cool tech. And obviously today we're here in order to find out everything good and also bad about this brand new smartwatch. This kind of tech feels like taken out of a James Bond movie, but given the price and the ways to buy it, I doubt it's gonna become a blockbuster or something similar. This unit was kindly provided by TomTop for the purpose of the review, and at the time I'm preparing this video for you it cost just $139, which not only undercuts most competitors in this segment, it means that the King has now the opportunity to rule the area of Android smartwatches. But there certainly are a few important things you need to see before ruling in its favor. So let me show you the unboxing. It's been the first time I felt somewhat disappointed when exploring a new smartwatch, because the package is somewhat too basic, cheaply feeling cardboard and lack of any creativity in terms of design. It's a missed marketing opportunity, if you ask me, but on the other hand, we're all here because of the tech itself and not the package. So, starting with this remarkably detailed user guide, perhaps the best I've ever seen about Android Watch, there's a second strap included and a charging cable. I hope to see a Type-C or micro USB charger, but no. Thanks to the urge to replace the default leather-like strap, I can confirm that the lugs are metal-made, so is the body. Good toughness and overall design so far. The watch feels and looks solid, a lot thicker than what you would expect and arguably a lot bigger than what I expected. Rectangular form of the display, which in this case might actually be a huge advantage for the user interface. As soon as we power the watch on, we tend to get a glimpse of the quality of the display, and it's a confirmation that, indeed, Android is the operating system. So I guess before we dive into the user interface, the customizations and the actual performance results, it's a good idea to check about the hardware specifications. Inside this ceramic unibody and underneath the 1.75-inch display, there's a Spectrum system on a chip for the main tasks and a PixArt unit for the health tracking functions, 5-megapixel front camera, 8-megapixel side camera, 850 mAh battery, LTE support, a nano SIM card tray, GPS and GLONASS inbuilt, operating system is Android 9.1, and there's a smartphone app for the management which is called Go Fit. At this point of time, I look at this watch as I did at the very beginning, because it's an interesting mixture between a very basic fitness tracker, giving you up to 10 days of battery life, or you can run it in smart mode, which is going to give you day and a half tops. Well, if you don't run a SIM card and if you reduce the screen brightness and also reduce the screen timeout, maybe 2 days and a half are going to be achievable. But still, it's not great battery life, although you can see that inside there's a pretty huge battery given the thick construction. I think the most interesting area about this device, about the Rogbit King, is the software. Because unlike many other smartwatches, it runs Android as opposed to Wear OS. And you probably know that the latter one, it's the operating system developed for wearable devices by Google. Well, Rogbit's developers have decided to go for this very extravagant solution running Android, which gives you a lot of advantages, but also certain disadvantages. On one side, bit of security issues and concerns because all these builds are not officially certified by Google, and you probably are not going to get many frequent updates. But on the other hand, you do have access to Google Play Store. There's a single button on the side. It acts exactly the same way as the power button on most smartphones to turn on or off the screen or to give you access to the power menu. Swipe right, here are the notifications, swipe left, and this is the list with the apps. Swipe one more time to the left and there's the shortcut to the workouts. You will find some customization options, like adapting the launcher to your own taste by choosing between list mode or icon mode. Some good-looking watch faces are available too, however, I wish there were a bit more options. Even the inbuilt watch face store has two basic and such watch faces which are not rich on data. Some of them may look quite nice though. There also is an included alternative to the Google Play Store. Still, I would rather use the original one, but given the nature of this Android build, I would prefer to go for an account which I don't use as a primary one, just in case. Honestly, during the whole time using this watch, I was concerned about security. Given the fact that this build never passes approval by Google, who knows, could be that there's a keylogger or something involved. Your biggest bonus, as I see it, is the access to Google Play Store. Here you have access to literally everything. WhatsApp, Viber, Skype, you name it, it's there. The keyboard can be tricky to type with, but you have options for voice typing or installing alternative keyboards. The huge advantage of having no circular watch is that most of the apps are gonna be able to adapt the UI to the screen and be actually usable. Just look at Google Maps or Facebook, they look great. The default amount of pre-installed apps is not that big, which I consider to be an advantage. Whatever you need, add it by yourself. We have the sanitary minimum for productivity and connectivity apps. Of course, since the big highlight here is the 4G connectivity and the cameras, let's try with a phone call first. Strong signal reception, good usage of the mobile data. I'm quite happy with the 4G implementation too. Know that there are certain countries where some frequencies may not be covered, so double check with Rogbit's chat about this. As for the camera, there actually are two of them. The position of the main camera is in a way that kind of makes it necessary to wear the watch on your left hand, otherwise it will only spy your arm and elbow area. The selfie camera is fine for making telcos on the go. I would still prefer a smartphone for that purpose, but on the other hand, you can join a meeting while being on a hike without any extra devices. That's nice. So, that's the front selfie camera. I guess it's recording at 720p. Dynamic range looks pretty bad, especially when the sun is right behind me. What do you think about the audio quality and the overall image quality? Comment down below. Steady GPS signal doesn't lock very quickly, but you have a SIM card. You know that Android handles this situation in a much better fashion. There are only a few inbuilt tracked workouts. The involvement of GPS here looks suspicious, but let's say you can use alternatives like downloading Strava or other popular fitness tracking apps. If you prefer to stick to the inbuilt sports, you can check everything about the results in the smartphone app called Gao Fit, which, let's say, it's not on par with 2022's UX standards. As for settings, there are some, not as many as I hoped. For instance, there is no way to count on certain display adjustments, no way to tweak the camera launch pattern. You do have a face unlock option though. While I never managed to, I have the feeling I can somehow cheat it during the whole time, just because the cameras are too basic. In my usual list with the drawbacks, I'm gonna put the uncertainty around the device security. Gonna also mention the possibility of rare software updates and security patches. There is no always on display mode, at least with the firmware that I run. No way to enable quick launch for the camera using the power button, something that natively Android should support. So in the end, if software and security and frequent updates are not your concern and your main priority is to have a secondary smartphone on your wrist all the time, then I think the Rogbit King fulfills this in a perfect way. Maybe even right now it's the king of those smartwatches given its specifications, but keep in mind that it's king of a crowd that is not really famous for being super accurate or very reliable or having good after-sales support or having the best build quality in the world. Therefore, think twice before choosing to buy this watch. Yes, it's very interesting because running Android gives you a lot of opportunities, but on the other hand, there also are a number of concerns I've tried to address throughout this episode. And I really hope that everything we have said so far makes really good sense and has been useful to you for choosing your next wearable. If you decide to go for the Rogbit King, I'll place a link in the description below the video with a discount code. and make sure to support the channel in any form and way you wish. Thank you so much for trusting in my reviews, for being here, and I really hope to see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye!